want to tell you about the weirdest job I've ever had, right? I got an acting job for Bird's Eye. They do like frozen vegetables and stuff like that. And I had to be a superhero called Mighty Veg, right? And they paid me £400 a day. Nice work if you can get it. But I had to dress up as a superhero called Mighty Veg in these trousers, pants over the trousers, cape with a big V. I had no shame in those days. And basically, I was going around to primary schools and giving a little talk about the joys and the benefits of eating frozen fruit and veg by Bird's Eye, right? And one night I'd done a school in Dublin and all that. It was fantastic. Went out, everyone was really friendly. Next day we had to go to some god awful place on the outskirts of Belfast, and it was a totally different vibe. I'd never been there before. Anyway, drove through the town, and there were all these terrace houses with all these paintings of men in balaclavas holding Kalashnikovs painted on the side of them. And got into the school, walked through the school gates, and did the old meet and greet with the headmaster, and shook my hand and all that. And I thought, oh, I'm struggling for conversation here. Oh, let's have a look. And I looked up and I noticed just above his door there was a portrait of Her Majesty the Queen. And I just said, look, oh, it's the Queen. That's a nice portrait. He said, yes, it's been there since 1952, and it's never coming down. I thought, okay, fine. So I was really glad to get that job finished. Came back to London, and as I was getting the tube home, I had a scary Irishman encounter number 2. Sat on the tube train, right? Empty carriage, completely to myself. And this was just around the end of the Troubles. This was in the 90s sometime. So there was still a bit of bit of fear and paranoia about terrorism and stuff. So anyway, I'm sat on the train on my own, and the doors open, and this scary-looking Irishman comes in and sits right opposite me. He could have sat in any of the carriage. And I had my feet up on the chair, and he sat down opposite me, and he stared at me really intensely in the eyes. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he just opened his mouth. He stunk a bit of booze as well, and he just said, "Get your fucking feet off of that chair now." And I just took my feet off the chair really slowly. I just walked off the train and got off at the next stop. And I never ever played Mighty Veg again. But one thing I'd say about Mighty Veg this was my motto, you'll like this. I'd stand with my hands on my shoulders and I'd go, all for veg. So, if you want to learn that, repeat it in the school playgrounds of England. I'm sure it will catch on. And make sure you eat your frozen veg, kids.